Hello, dear English learners. Welcome back to our channel where English learning becomes an unforgettable adventure. Today, we begin the incredible life story of one of the greatest leaders in history, Nelson Mandela. This is not a just story, it's a journey of hope, courage, and determination. Listen to this story will help you improve your English vocabulary, pronunciation, and listening skills. But more than that, it will inspire you to dream big and never give up no matter how hard life gets. So get ready for the most powerful and most motivational story you have ever heard. Let's start the journey of Nelson Mandela, man who changed the world. Nelson Mandela was born on 18 July 1918 in a small, quiet village called Maviso in the Eastern Cape of South Africa. His birth name was Rolihlahla Mandela, which is Xhosa language means pulling the branch of a tree. He was born in a Tambo royal family, a tribe known for its rich history and culture. His father, Gadlo Henry Mapikaniswa, was a respected chief and advisor to the Tambu king. Although Mandela family was not wealthy, they were deeply respected in the community. His mother, Nosikeni Fanny, was a devote who taught him the importance of kindness, humility, and faith. Mandela's childhood was simple but filled with joy. He lived in a hut made of mud and straw surrounded by open fields and rolling hills. There was no electricity, no running water, and no modern luxuries, but Mandela felt free and happy. As a young boy, he loved to run barefoot in the field, herd cattle, and swim in streams. He played traditional Xhosa games with his friends and listened to elders tell stories around the fire at night. The stories, often about brave warriors and leaders, ignite spark in young Mandela's heart. One day, his father told him a real leader is not someone who wants power for himself, but someone who serves his people. When Mandela was only 9 years old, tragedy struck. His father fell ill and passed away. This was a devastating loss for the young boy, but it also marked a turning point in his life. After his father's death, Mandela's mother took him to live with Chief Joginteba Dalindibo, a royal leader of a Tambu people. He lived in the chief palace where he observed meetings and learned about leadership, tradition, and responsibility. Mandela began attending local Methodist school at the age of 7. It was here that his teacher, Miss Medingene, gave him a name Nelson. As was the custom for African children to the given English names in schools. He loved English literature, geography, and history, especially stories of African heroes who fought against colonial rule. Mandela often said education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. This belief drove him to study harder and dream bigger. South Africa was ruled by the system of apartheid, which kept black and white people separated in every part of life. Black people were not allowed to vote on land or live in the same neighborhoods as white people. Mandela could see the unfairness everywhere. At the age of 16, Mandela participated in the traditional Wosa ceremony, where boys become men. During the ceremony, elders spoke about the responsibilities of manhood. When Mandela was 19 years old, Chief Jogin Taba arranged a marriage for him, but Mandela had other dreams. He wanted to continue his education and make his own choices, so he made a bold decision. He ran away to the bustling city of Johannesburg. Black people worked hard for every little pay and lived in poor condition, while white people enjoy all the wealth and privilege. Mandela worked as a night watchman at the gold mine while continuing his education. He lived in a small, crowded room and often went hungry, but he never gave up. He believed that education would open doors to a better future. Mandela eventually enrolled at the University of Witwatersrand, where he studied law. During this time, Mandela joined the African National Congress, a political organization fighting for the rights of black South Africans. While working with the ANC, Mandela met a beautiful and intelligent woman named Evelyn Ntokomas. Evelyn was a nurse and she shared Mandela's dreams of a better South Africa. They got married in 1944 and started a family. He wanted to create a country where children could play together without fear, where families could build their future, and where justice would prevail. Mandela rented a small room in Alexandra, one of the poorest townships, and worked as a clerk in a law firm. Mandela's speeches were powerful and passionate. He spoke about justice, equality, and the need for action. People admired his courage and vision. One of his most famous lines was, "It always seems impossible until it's done." Mandela helped organize peaceful protests, strikes, and marches. He believed in non-violent resistance inspired by the teachings of Mahatma Gandhi. Mandela himself was arrested multiple times, but he refused to give up. He said, "Courage is not the absence of fear, it is inspiring others to move beyond it." Despite the challenges, Mandela achieved one of his biggest dreams. He became a lawyer in 1952. Nelson and his friend Oliver Tambo opened the first black law firm in South Africa. Mandela, and Tambo attorneys. In 1960, a tragic event changed the course of Mandela's life. During the peaceful protests in the town of Sharp Evils, police opened fire on the crowd, killing 69 and injured hundreds more. In 1962, Mandela was arrested and charged with sabotage, treason, and attempting to overthrow the government. He used his trial as a platform to speak out against apartheid. Mandela was sentenced to life imprisonment and sent to Robben Island, a bleak prison off the coast of Cape Town. Life is prison harsh. Mandela was forced to do harsh labor in the limestone quarry. He lived in a tiny cell with no bed and only a thin mat on the floor. He also taught younger prisoners about leadership and the importance of staying hopeful. Mandela spent 27 long years in prison, most of them on Robben Island. Every day was a test of his patience and willpower. He once said, "I realized that courage was not the absence of the fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear." Countries refuse to trade with South Africa. Famous musicians like Steve Wonder and Bob Marley dedicated song to Mandela. On 11th February 1990, the worldwide Nelson Mandela walked out of prison. He was 71 years old, his hair grey, but his spirit unbroken. Mandela became the leader of the ANC and began working towards Africa's first democratic election. His goal was simple but powerful: a South Africa where everyone, black, white, Indian, colored, had equal rights. In 1994, history was made. For the first time, all South Africans, regardless of race, could vote. People stood in long lines, some for hours, to cast their votes. Mandela said in his speech, "Never, never, and never again shall it be that this beautiful land will again experience the oppression of one by another." As President Nelson focused on uniting the country, one of his most famous acts was supporting South Africa's rugby team, the Springboks, during the 1995 Rugby World Cup. The title came from a poem Mandela loved, which ended with the lines, "I am a master of the fate and the captain of my soul." Mandela traveled the world meeting leaders, inspiring youth, and reminding everyone of the power of the forgiveness and determination. On 5 December 2013, Nelson Mandela passed away at the age of 95. The world mourned the loss of a giant. He taught us that no matter how dark the road, no matter how high the mountain, hope and perseverance can change the world.